What were some of the decisions you made that you look back on and like that was a game changer for us to get to where we are?
So I think for me, it was just trusting God more, which was not necessarily the easiest. Type A driven individual, we like to drive. So for me to just kind of allow God to be God and let David be David has really been one of the biggest factors for me. And it's really opened the doors because it's enabled the right people to show up. It's enabled
Yeah.
me to be able to hire the right people and work with the right people and do the right thing.
This episode is brought to you by Pierre Tax and Accounting, led by CPA Eric Pierre, a seasoned accounting and tax expert with years of experience helping individuals and businesses navigate complex financial landscapes. Whether you need personal tax planning, business tax strategy, bookkeeping, or financial planning support, Eric and his team are committed to helping you protect and grow your financial future with clarity and confidence. To get expert guidance you can trust, check out Pierre Tax and Accounting at pierreaccounting.com. We'd also like to thank Data Driven Decisions, founded by Katie Forrester, for sponsoring today's show. Data Driven Decisions specializes in accounting, bookkeeping, payroll, and advisory services tailored specifically for small businesses and entrepreneurs who want financial clarity and peace of mind. From KPI reporting to fractional CFO support and QuickBooks training, Katie's team brings big firm expertise with a personal touch. Visit them at datadriven.coach to see how smart financial support can make all the difference in your business growth. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Builder's Bible. I'm joined by David Grisham, who's a friend of mine from Rise Up Kings. David is an electrical contractor, and he works all over the Southeast, is doing fairly well, and has a unique account with Tesla, which I'm excited to kind of pick his brain about. David, tell us your story, man. Tell us how you got started, how the business got to where it is today.
So I kind of started in the construction industry, like a lot of people, kind of back in the mid 90s. I went through an apprenticeship program. So learned how to do electrical from the field up. And then 2019, we had an opportunity to start going in and doing it for ourselves. What we found at that time was Verizon was doing a lot of 5G modifications and upgrades. And so we were able to get into that. And then about 2021, Tesla and some other EV manufacturers started doing a lot more work in the Southeast. We got the opportunity to jump in with them. And so we started building Tesla EV charging stations all over the Southeast. So I've been doing that for about 4 years now.
So how does that, I don't know if I'm a fanboy of Elon Musk because I find him to be very strange, but I'm fascinated with and I have a Tesla myself. Do they just kind of point and say, hey, build one for us here? Or what does that normally look like?
So they have a lot of very smart people, and I say that they have a map of the world. They lay it out flat, and they say, all right, we need to have chargers here, 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 and here, and then they kind of range it down. So they base it on a lot of factors, obviously electric vehicle range, current demand, the number of vehicles that are currently in the area. So they when we first started building them, it seemed like they were about a 300-mile range out, and then it kind of looked like it went to maybe 150 miles out, and then 50. And now it looks like they're in the kind of overflow or as we need more, looking at, hey, we've got a lot more chargers in the area or a lot of more vehicles being used by chargers in the area. We need to build some more stations. And especially with the Tesla plug now becoming the North American charging standard, Ford and several other manufacturers are going to start using the Tesla superchargers. They have to, kind of keep up with that demand a little bit more.
Okay, so what are the complexities of putting one of those things together? Sorry, I'm gonna have a million questions about this, but there's one by my house. It's less than a mile away, and
Mm-hmm.
I have to imagine that it literally is like the amount of power you would need for a small village. Like, what is that? What are some of the complexity
Absolutely.
of installing one of those bad boys?
So, as you can very much imagine, they do take a lot of energy. They take a lot of power. So, Typically, Tesla likes to put in 12 stalls, and those tend to be, 2000 kVA, 2000 amp or 1500 kVA transformers, sometimes 2500 kVA transformers. To put that into perspective, that's roughly, like you say, a small neighborhood per charging station setup. So it takes a lot of power.
Yeah. Was it hard to land that account? Is that a good account, or did they beat you up on price? I can't imagine like that wouldn't be a life-changing account for most electricians.
That's absolutely a good account. Yeah, Tesla is a very good contractor to have. I mean, company to have to get to work for. Very, very humbled every day. For us, it primarily was the, the the engineer that we worked with at Verizon actually took a job with Tesla, and because of our previous experience with him, he went and he wanted us to come in, and so he kind of helped open the door for us. It is a very hard contract to get, but past experience, enabled us to kind of roll into it. So yes, sir.
Hmm. That's awesome. Well, what are yeah, I mean, tell us, you don't have to give away your P&L or anything crazy, but tell us a little bit about like where the company's at today, employees, overall sales, and like what are some challenges you guys are facing?
Well, so for us, we're about between 15 and 20 electricians in the field. We do ramp up, and we're getting in the process of ramping up again for other contracts we've landed in addition to what we have. But typically, we're 15 to 20 electricians in the field. And then last year, we were just over 5 million in sales top line.
Hmm.
And as this year, we're estimating to get between 6 and 8 million, is what our projected goals are. For us, I guess it would be the number one challenge would be skilled labor.
Yeah.
Finding people that specialize in what we do, it has been a definite challenge.
Yeah.
So I mean, for us, I guess with the work growing so fast across the southeast, we found it easier to hire people with good mindsets, good attitudes, good work ethic, and then train them instead
Yeah.
of trying to hire like a regular electrician that's been doing commercial electric for 10 or 15 years. We find it easier or better on our model to kind of hire somebody that just has a good attitude and wants to learn a new trade. We
Okay.
do have an apprenticeship with them. We have an apprenticeship too. So Department of Labor, nationally accredited, 4-year apprenticeship that we get to let them go
Yeah.
through.
My experience with people that have scaled to where you are is there's typically a break point at around like 2 or 3 million where you have to kind of make a decision to get out of your truck and grow a pair and hire like a really good number two or something.
Right.
What were some of the decisions you made that you look back on and like that was a game changer for us to get to where we are?
Um, so I think for me, it was just trusting God more, which was not necessarily the easiest. Type A driven individual, we like to drive. So for me to just kind of allow God to be God and let David be David has really been one of the biggest factors for me. And it's really opened the doors because it's enabled the right people to show up. It's enabled
Yeah.
me to be able to hire the right people and work with the right people and do the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing. Um, let's talk about a little bit around like what are some of the other types of clients you serve? So obviously you're commercial. Do you do residential as well, just like home-based service?
Not as much. We do it for very select customers. We have done
Yeah.
some residential. For us, we stay very busy on what we do. So the commercial is like stay
Yeah.
in your lane. Try not to get too many lanes open because then you drop the ball on something else. So
Yeah.
for us, we do commercial and we do primarily EV infrastructure. Those are our niche, so to speak.
Are you doing anything with data centers? Because I feel like that is what is driving a lot of the needs right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we've started working in with what they call micro data centers,
Yeah.
which are the smaller scale version of a big conglomerate that everybody's mad at data center because of the amount of water, power, and everything that a big one
Yeah.
takes, and the amount of cost it takes to build it, and the infrastructure that is in a real data center is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it definitely helps to have a lot of smaller scale ones.
What's up, everybody? This episode is sponsored by Von Finch Investments. If you're a business owner or investor looking to grow your wealth beyond the stock market, you need to check out Von Finch Investments. They give you access to institutional quality real estate and private credit deals without the headaches of managing properties yourself. Their model is built around alignment. They invest alongside you, and they only win when you win. If you want passive income, tax efficiency, and real asset exposure, Von Finch is worth a serious look. What's up, everybody? This episode is sponsored by ExitWise. If you're a business owner thinking about selling your company, whether that's now or years down the road, you need to know what your business is actually worth and how to maximize that exit. That's exactly what ExitWise does. They help you prepare, position, and ultimately sell your business by assembling a world-class team of M&A experts around you, guiding you from valuation all the way through closing. If you want to know what your business is really worth and how to increase that number before you sell, go check out exitwise.com and get ahead of it. Let's talk about AI for a second. How do you feel like it's affecting, obviously data centers would be one way it's affecting your industry, but in general, like how are you leveraging it potentially for your business, or where do you feel like you could be leveraging it?
So for us, our model is a little different. So like we don't do a lot of Facebook marketing or any kind of ads based or customer based. Ours are typically contracts. So for us, AI doesn't necessarily play a role like creating content and doing videos and that kind of stuff. We don't typically have to do that. We work direct with the project managers of the corporations we work for. So I don't use a whole lot of AI on the business side, kind of helping keep processes going. I use it for that, but not necessarily on growing business right now.
Yeah. What is a business principle or a lesson from business that gets you fired up? Is there an experience you've had or a book you've read or any sort of principle you would impart to yourself 10 or 20 years ago?
I really like 12-week year. I really like the concept of, don't put it off today, do it today and get it done versus, oh, I've got 12 months, a year is 12 months. Well, when you kind of reprioritize it to a year is just every 12 weeks,
Yeah.
you really have to get serious and, tie it back into ruck and everything is intentional.
Yeah.
So you have to be very intentional with your time, very intentional with your output. If you allow time to manage itself at 100% will get wasted. So that's been one of the biggest lessons is to be really focused on time and intentionality on time.
I love that book. I love condensing your year into 12 weeks. And I think it was, I'm going to botch it, but it's like, it says that's the longest you can give yourself to actually accomplish those goals. And it's a short enough time to condense it. I don't know. I already botched it, but there's a point. There was a point there. There was a point there.
Yeah, it was a good one. I heard it. I heard it was a good point. Yeah.
Okay, last question. You and I know each other from Rise Up Kings. Obviously, had a profound impact on both of our lives. What are a couple ways it's impacted you?
So for me, I went to what's called Refinery number 62. And I actually went because I just got done reading Schuyler's book, A 2-Day CEO. So I totally thought that was what I was going for. So that was on Friday. Of course, the 3-day event started on Tuesday. Night and day. Complete and utter transformation without giving any of the secret sauce away. When Friday got there, I was like, cool, that's nice. Hey, Schuyler, how you doing? But I really, really, really took a lot out of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It was reprioritizing. 4-pillar system. What I realized was I was very focused on 1, 2, or 3 of the pillars at any given time in life, but never 4. I'd be focused on the faith, get real strong with reading my Bible, doing what I was supposed to do, going to church, being active, proactive, and doing stuff. And then something else would fall. I would let my health fall, or I would let my business fall, or I would let my personal relationships fall. I was never working on all 4 at the same time. So that was kind of the biggest eye opener. Like I said, intentionality with time, it can be done, but you can't waste your time. You have to
Mm,
focus on what you're doing.
mm,
So it's where I learned the most, and still
that's
learning,
awesome.
plural. Yeah, current
Still learning.
and growing.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else we haven't talked about today that gets you fired up?
Um, like I said, I think that the future is really bright for a lot of construction in general. I'm really excited to see kind of where it goes. Like you had mentioned, data centers. I'm just really excited to see all of the new technologies, how it gets applied. I look back 20 years because I just turned 52, and I look at what my generations of, from my years of being 18 and up, my work years, quote unquote, and how far we've come. I can only imagine how far we're going to go in the next 40 years. So I'm really excited to kind of see how everything goes. Like I said, AI and how it implements and what it can take on and take over, to actually let us do more.
Yeah.
It's amazing using some of the AI software that we do get to use, just what it can actually accomplish. And you just ask it to do anything, and it's like, oh, no problem. Like I didn't even know what that was, and it made it.
Yeah. So I started my AI agency 8 months ago.
Okay.
And just even on a couple projects that we're doing right now, like it's almost like what we are building is already obsolete within 2 to 3 months, which is
Yeah.
insane,
Exactly.
insane. And I think a lot of business owners, one of the things I've noticed is there's either people who are really kind of walking into it and they're like, I want to figure out how to leverage this, or there's people that are just avoiding it. But there's
Yeah.
really no in between. And I'm like, why would you avoid it? Like what is it? And I think it's like the fear of it replacing something or you getting replaced. And I'm like, dude, this is just a way for you to leverage your capacity and the members of your team. That's all it is,
Absolutely.
you know? So anyway, I got on a soapbox there for a sec, but
Hey,
it's
no,
such an
I totally
opportunity.
agree. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, 'cause like you say, it's the
Yeah.
same thing in electrical. People either love it or they hate it. You're not going to find many people that just want to go grab a live wire. They either love it or hate
Yeah.
it. They're scared to death or they love it. So exact same
Yeah.
thing. AI is the exact same thing. People are
Amen.
either fully embraced on technology and all it can do, or they are very, very hesitant and dragging their feet. I'm more of the first. I do try to keep up with technology, but like I said, it is ever evolving. Like I said, every 10 minutes, it seemed like what you thought was the best and latest and greatest was no longer even in the top 10.
Yeah.
And it becomes cheaper and cheaper and cheaper too, which is the amazing part to me. Faster and
Yeah.
cheaper. So it's very interested to see where it goes.
Well, David, if people want to learn more about who you are and what you do and your company, where can they go?
So we have a website, dgkpservices.com. So that's Delta Golf Kilo Papa Services.com. Or if they wanted to reach out to me directly, my number is 478-957-3960. Like I said, we are licensed in the Southeast. We love to work with anybody. So we're open to talking and discussing with anybody. We like bigger contracts and bigger scale of work, but we're definitely talk with anybody.
I love it, man. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast. Don't go anywhere because I want to keep talking, but thanks for coming on the show.
All right. Thank you.